Good evening, guys, and happy Thursday to all of your sunshiny faces. So it is Thursday. It's been a week since my mom's surgery, and she has been doing better, like honestly since like the first day or second day. She's been able to do things a little bit more for herself, sort of like sometimes can get herself something to eat. It's just sort of like she'll feel good for like a little while and then all of a sudden she'll be in pain again. So it is a really long recovery after, and so like I said, she'll feel good for like maybe like a half hour or something like that, like get a pudding cup for herself out of the pantry or something like that. She was able to do that, but then all of a sudden, from like being up, walking around, all that kind of stuff, she then isn't feeling all that great again, like very, very shortly afterwards. So, like I said, she is doing better though, much better than she was. But guys, I already took a shower and already washed my hair because I actually got to a lot of stuff today. I was really happy. I woke up actually early today. I'm actually going to bed a slight bit later, but like I said, I already took a shower. I did my German lesson actually early today, so I just need to brush my teeth and I put my pajamas on. I'm ready for bed. But I ended up waking up maybe around 9 o'clock or 9:30 or something like that, because I think I mentioned to you guys that we were having the air conditioning guy had to like come and, I don't know, like take pictures or something like that, because like we had the coil done, but now we're going through a different company to get the AC done, but the coil is part of the AC unit, so they have to make sure like the hookups, I'm assuming, and all that kind of stuff is like right, and making sure that it's like, I'm sure there's a lot more that goes into it, like, the output or whatever, like all that kind of stuff is like, works for whatever, unit we wind up getting. So like I said, I'm sure there's some aspect of them having to make sure some of the stuff that's already there is compatible with what they're putting in, and or, what, like I said, needs to be done or happen or whatever. So anyways, he needed to come over today. Said he was just going to be here for like a couple minutes because he just needed to get pictures, I think, of just like the coil or the furnace, because the furnace that we got put in was like the furnace and the coil. So and then we have to get the actual unit put in. So we're actually getting a pretty good deal on it. We looked, like, at first we went with some of the bigger name like companies that like you see commercials for and all this kind of stuff all the time, and honestly it was pretty expensive what they were, like, their cheapest deals. Looking through some of the like local companies, it was like very competitively priced with them, what we are getting it for. So anyways, and because we actually already have the coil too, I think that's why it's also might be less as well. So anyways, I woke up early this morning because of that, because he was here, like I said, around that time. But Matthew actually, because Matthew was here when Jack got home from school, so Matthew ended up just like letting him in, showed him where the thing was, and then he ended up leaving, like I said, a couple minutes after that. But I just had all the dogs in here in the morning, so they weren't barking or anything like that, which they were all actually silent angels. Like, I don't think that they ended up hearing the guy at all, because normally if they hear strange voices in the house, they start barking. So I think they didn't, and that's why they were like real quiet. So anyways, I woke up early this morning. I ended up editing 2 vlogs today, and also did dishes and laundry. Then when my dad came home from work, he actually got home sort of late. He also had to work out. Normally he does his like workouts in the garage, so he was able to get actually a couple things done. Maybe he finished staining this stuff, I'm not totally sure. We also got the right size pipe now today so that we can do those like light posts that we're doing, and we but while he was doing that, I was like, oh, you know what, I'll because I told you guys I was trying to clean the back deck and like power wash it, and I got all the baseboards done. But then yesterday I was like, this is gonna be like, not that long, but it's probably gonna be a while. I was like, I'm gonna try and do this on a day when I have more time, so because this is kind of a hassle, like a one-person job to have to get all the stuff set up and everything like that. So that's why, you know, like I said, I have my dad, you know, sort of help me get it all set up, but then I can pretty much handle it on its own. It's just the whole setup process is not even that bad, but it's a little bit of a pain. So anyways, I had him help me get that out to the front, and I ended up cleaning the stoop in the front. So I want to see tomorrow when it's totally dry what it looks like. But I did that, and then also the sidewalk that goes down to our like driveway, because we don't actually have a sidewalk that goes out to the street, but it goes down to the driveway. And so I ended up also power washing all that, because when my dad had edged the like along the sidewalk, he did that, like he did it first last year, but he's been doing it consistently since then. But there was so much overgrowth, it was onto the sidewalk like a couple inches probably. So there was tons of, like, it was just like dirt there and stuff like that, and like the rain sort of washes it away, but it's just sort of like caked on dirt that, like I said, just looks like it does not belong there, and it doesn't. So I ended up like I said, power washing that, and it looked really awesome, but it was still sort of wet. That was sort of the same thing with the deck. Like, I couldn't tell how nice it looked actually after it finished drying finally, because you just sort of see it as like soaking wet wood, and you're like, oh, I don't, you know, this sort of just looks like, oh, it got rained on or whatever. But actually getting to see it totally dry, it looks so nice. So I ended up doing that and got the whole stoop and all of the sidewalk, you know, all cleaned down as well. Plus I sort of just cleared off our stoop too, because it's big enough where we actually have a little table out there and a couple little planters too. But I also had some of the like leftover like plastic containers from the plants that we had planted around. I just left them all there, so I picked all those up and recycled them. And there was a couple other just like little things that I was like, this doesn't belong here, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I just sort of tidied it all up. Like I said, power washed it. The thing that does stink though about using the power washer is that, like, I'm doing it, but sometimes there's so much water that I can't actually tell until it starts to dry that, like, I ended up missing some places, and like I couldn't tell real well either, because the other thing that was easier with the deck was that it was just, you know, like I just needed to use it 2 times per board, and it was clean. With the like stoop and the sidewalk, it's sort of hard to tell where you've already completely done it without like missing it, and so I tried to like sort of like blow everything off of there a couple times so that like I could go back over. But again, after it sort of dried, I noticed there were spots where I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I missed that. I can't believe I missed that. And it's not that obvious, because it still was all sort of like pressure washed, but like some of the like things that I really tried to go like very like close up to it with, and get it at like a higher pressure, wasn't like, you know, cleaning it. I didn't end up cleaning like different parts of that, so you could tell like there was like streaks sort of in it. So that is a little bit of a pain, but I might try and get it back out again at some point, probably not tomorrow. But I might also try and clean the brick in the front of our house as well, and maybe try the siding too. I don't know, we'll see. But I was thinking about maybe doing that too. The thing was, guys, today, because I was doing it on the sidewalk, and obviously there's grass and dirt and mud right next to it, and there is we have one big crack in the sidewalk, which we're gonna maybe fill in with some of our leftover concrete that we still have left over, and it's just actually, it's not that noticeable because we can put a rug, like a welcome mat, right over it, but it's like right along the stoop and the sidewalk, because we used to have a tree, and I think it was from the root of the tree actually being there that caused it like to separate a little bit. So I was like, we can probably just pour like a tiny bit of concrete in there and let that set, and you know, it'll probably be pretty good. So that was what I was thinking, you know, we can probably do, just to fill in like the big sort of hole that was there. But like there were certain points like that, or in like the corners, where I was spraying just mud all over myself. So I had to take a shower earlier today, so that is why I am super ready for bed like right now. But then I ended up staying up late to finish watching the Cubs game. They were playing in San Francisco though, so there was a time change. So the game actually didn't start till like 8:45 or like 8 o'clock or something like that. So it was actually like a pretty late start for us. So it wasn't over until like just about midnight. So it's just about 12, almost 12:30 I think right now. But again, I can just, like I said, it's gonna take me about 5 minutes to get in bed, and I am actually really tired, so I think I'm gonna fall right to sleep as well. But compared to yesterday, I was able to get a lot more done. I also uploaded all 4 vlogs that I edited 2 days ago, because I literally got to nothing yesterday. So I feel like I was very productive on, what was 2 days ago? Tuesday. Yesterday like did nothing, but then today was decently productive. Like I got to a little extra than like just sort of the bare minimum, like by doing all the power washing stuff and everything like that too. So like I said, I'm super excited to see tomorrow once it's all dry. I went out to check on it like later in the afternoon, and I noticed that it was like still a little wet, but it did look a lot cleaner, and I was like, wow, this is really awesome. I'm having a lot of fun using that power washer, and there's so many like uses for it too, you know, and so much stuff to clean. Like I said, the deck, the, you know, the house, the siding, you know, the sidewalk, the stoop, you know, all that kind of stuff. There's just a lot to do with it, and it's so powerful too. Like the one thing that, you know, it is a little bit scary though, is that it is so powerful that sometimes it does wind up like we were using in the backyard. It was stripping all the paint and stain. I don't really think it was stain. I think it was red paint that used to also be on the main part of the deck, but it came off over time, and then we tried to repaint it, but I ended up mostly pulling all of that off, which was good because we actually want to do that. But if you don't want that to happen, it's a little like, you know, like I said, intimidating, or you don't want, like I said, you know, that to happen. So yeah, anyways guys, I'm just very excited that I have this sort of new and easy toy to use. Like it's not that difficult, you know, it's not something like, you know, I'm like, okay, after a half hour I'm done because my arms are sore, you know, or I can't lift this thing anymore, or, you know, my legs, I've been up on my feet for, you know, multiple hours. It's like, no, actually it's definitely not been hard for me to use at all. The one thing is that like when I am doing stuff on the ground though, using it, like doing the sidewalk and everything like that, I am sort of hunched over, just because I'm trying to get so close to, you know, the sidewalk and everything like that. So I sort of noticed that, but I kept noticing it, and I was like, okay, I gotta stand more straight up and just stand closer over it, because I was kind of like standing like further away to like keep it away from me, but because I didn't want to keep spraying me. So anyways guys, I will see you all in tomorrow's vlog though. If you guys did enjoy today's, make sure you guys give a big old thumbs up.